What's up, witches? I'm Taylor.
And I'm Amber.
And this is
Waking Up the Witch. We're your neighborhood witches. Each week, we talk about all things witchy and connect with other humans in a storytelling format about navigating life on this floating rock.
We're two curious ladies trying to understand the human experience. But while we do that, we think it's important to honor the people that lived here before us and honor the cultures and traditions that we're being inspired by.
This podcast is about waking up the witch, which means we are learning and growing every day. That being said, we are always open to feedback on how we can do better.
The views and opinions of our guests don't necessarily reflect the views and opinions of Waking Up the Witch. Now, let's go, ghouls! Hey, Amber.
Hey, Taylor.
How's it going?
Amazing. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Yep.
What's
Pretty
been going
good.
on? You've been gone for a while.
Last time we were here, I was going to Shasta houseboat, and
So fun.
I had been really anxious about it leading up until like about the week before, but I started feeling so much better.
Well, it was really smoky right before you left too.
Well, and I like couldn't get out of bed or socialize for months.
Yeah.
And so I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to handle.
Well, and you hated camping when you tried that this summer too.
Yeah, but like there's definitely like AC and
Oh, that's good.
places
Nice
to
and
hide and
comfortable.
like cleaner water to swim in that I didn't really get in. I got in once to like make myself. It ended up being great. It was honestly, even though I couldn't like party with everybody and they were all a shit show, it was probably one of the like least chaotic boat trips we've had. It was like everybody was pretty well behaved and had a good time, and it rained all day on Saturday. And so I just like took naps, and I had service, which I don't usually do like have out there. So
Crazy.
I did watch some Housewives because I just needed like little breaks from everybody.
Yeah.
And everybody had their night of being a shit show.
Like all at the same time or
No,
individually.
took turns. Yeah.
That's kind of nice.
It was really, really fun. It was really great. I'm just, now that I went to the Midwest for my baby shower and like spent time with my family, I'm even more grateful for Kurt's family and like this built-in family that I can like actually go hang out with and have fun with, and
the baby gets to be raised with.
Yeah, and like maybe a couple people can like kind of be annoying sometimes, but it's really just like situationally, and most of the time it's totally fine. And you don't get that with family. I feel like there's not very many families that can like go on a weekend trip together and have a good time.
Yeah.
And so we did the boat, came back. I worked one day and then we were off to the Midwest, and I really did have a good time in St. Louis. I had my nephew play hooky on like the first day we were there. He's 7 or 8.
Yay.
And we got smoothie bowls and went to the aquarium, and it was so freaking fun. And I met my best friend and her little kids. She's got an like 20-month-old and a 3-month-old.
Wow.
And just watching the little kids at the aquarium be like so excited about everything just made it so magical, and it was just so fun. And then we went to this new like food cart area that had like all these different food carts. Obviously it wasn't carts, it's like inside this like big factory looking thing, but then they had like putt, and so we played this like, it was all automated. It was really cool. They had like you would put your ball on this little thing, and it knew whose ball was whose, and then how many times you hit it.
Whoa.
And so it like kept track for you. It was really cool.
No
and then
cheating.
we took him to the car museum. We did so much.
The car museum. I didn't even
Mhm.
know there was a car museum.
Yep, there's one in St. Louis, and a lot of the cars are for sale too. And some people just store their cars there because it's like, what's it called when the humidity? I don't know. It's air
Oh, like air controlled?
controlled.
Mm-hmm.
And then that was all by like 3 o'clock, and I was like, okay, I have to lay down. Like
That's a
I'm so
lot.
tired. I
Was
was
that your
trying to,
first day there
yes,
too? Oh my
I was
gosh.
trying to keep him busy because we were staying at my best friend's mom's house, and I didn't know if I could like bring him back there, but I was like,
Aw.
okay, we're just gonna go lay for a little bit, and then just try to spend as much time as I could with my bestie Kate and her littles and see everybody. And then we really wanted to go to Hozier, but the concert tickets never went down, and we probably could have went out there and scalped tickets, but my mom got into Illinois early, so I was like, okay, we'll drive over. Like I really need to see my mom. And then it just all kind of went downhill from there. I grew up in a town like an hour and a half outside of St. Louis called Centralia, Illinois, and most people there have not left there, and it is just so overwhelming, and everybody is doing the same shit and not trying to better themselves in any way, and they're just like, oh, propaganda, but then they're like regurgitating Fox News facts, and it's like, you are the propaganda. Like,
Jesus.
you're the thing you're complaining about.
Yep.
We get in, I hang out with my mom, and then I go hang out with some of my cousins. That was horrible. And gave me so much anxiety. Everybody's like talking over each other, but nobody's stories are important. And it's just like, and then I'm like reflecting on myself. I'm like, am I like this? Or like, did I used to be like this? Because this is how I was raised. And like, I used to think this was normal, but this is not normal behavior.
It's good to have that mirror and to reflect on that, I think. That's growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that a couple years ago when my mom's husband passed and we had to fly in for an emergency, me just watching the way everybody behaved, I saw so many bad qualities that I had that like I think I immediately like dropped because I was mortified.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I do that. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That's not a good habit to have. And so I think that's hard about family sometimes is seeing some things that you're like raised to think are normal and like maybe you still do, but you don't even realize that you do. And my dad hasn't really hit me up much my whole pregnancy, which I guess is normal, but I kind of was hoping for more.
Yeah.
And so I got there and I went out to his house for about 20 minutes and I was just like sore and swollen and stuff. And I didn't want to sit outside on his like creaky furniture. So I was like, oh, let's all go to my grandma's house. And my dad goes to my grandma's house every day. He goes there before work for coffee. He's there every afternoon for dinner. So this is not a place that he feels uncomfortable. So I'm not asking him to do anything out of his comfort zone, really.
Yeah.
So we go over there and he shows up for like 10 minutes and I'm just like putting on a Netflix show because I'm just trying to relax. Like, I just wanted him to sit there with me.
Yeah.
We don't even have to have a conversation. Like, I just want you to be here with me. And they turn on a movie and he's like, all right, well, I got a treat in my car for my dog, so I gotta go. And I'm like, okay, like I haven't seen you in a year, and when I did see you last year, it was for lunch. Like, I haven't spent time with you in years, and I just flew across the country for this like really important time in my life to celebrate with you, and you got to go give your dog a fucking treat.
Yeah.
And I think that Kurt at first was trying to be like, oh, like saw that I was a little upset and tried to make an excuse for it. But then I just started bawling and then he just shut up and was like, no, feel whatever your feelings are. So, yeah, I just started bawling my eyes out, and then my boobs started leaking. And I'm like, what the fuck is happening? That was first. And then my grandma did come home, and we talked for like 2 hours, and we had really good conversations. And I was like, this is great. There was one story she was telling where we were talking about a lot of her travels, and she does travel a lot. She like travels to different countries and like all this stuff. So you'd think she would be fucking cultured, but she's not at all. I think that she travels in these what are they called? Like when you go in groups, like tour groups.
Tour groups, yeah.
And it's almost as if she's like an observer of the other cultures instead of like integrating herself into them and like getting to know the people. So she's like observing them as different from her.
Yeah.
And so
like it's the zoo or something.
Yeah, exactly. And so we got on the topic of like Dubai. And story is fucking crazy. And she's like, "Oh, I'll never go back there." She was like, "The airport was beautiful, but the way they treated me was crazy." And then she basically is like, "I don't like Muslims because I've had some instances." And then she talks about being profiled by these people and like treated poorly, and just she tells this whole story. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, does she not understand the irony of this? Like,
yeah.
She is so out of touch with reality that she doesn't realize like what happened to her is what she does to people.
Yeah.
And we let her tell her story, and then we would go to bed, and I looked at Kurt and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh.
Like,
yeah.
That was so crazy to listen to because she has no idea. Like at all. And so the next day we get ready for the baby shower. It was good. I felt like I was having to like entertain kind of and talk to everybody, and there was a lot of family members that I hadn't seen in a long time, and I was really grateful for that because that's why I did it in Centralia. I wanted to give my family last opportunity to like show up for me, and a lot of people did. My mom's best friend's daughter and I grew up together. We were both born on the army base, and then our moms like had a house that had a door in the middle, and so we were all like when we were babies, we all lived in the same house.
How cool.
And we've always been like distant but close, and we're due a couple weeks apart, and she flew in from Florida, and I got to see her for the first time in like probably 10 years.
Wow.
And we were like pregnant together, and it was so cute. And then one of my cousins walked in and just like surprised from Colorado. She lives in Denver. And I'm like, what are you doing here? And she was like, well, I'm on a sabbatical from work and just thought I'd stop by town. I haven't been here in a long time because like family. And then I come to find out like just her being in town for 24 hours was also a fucking disaster and shit show, and she like couldn't handle it and had to leave. And it's like, I think when there are all these people, all these family members are like feeding off of each other's bullshit, and when you remove yourself from the situation, you realize how toxic they all are, and that they're all just like feeding off of each other. And so baby shower went good. My dad, I'm like, I sit down in front of everybody. It's awkward, right? Like you got to open your gifts in front of these people. I looked at Kate. I'm like, how am I supposed to react? And she goes, well, if you don't like something, don't say that. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm like overwhelmed. I'm like, what do I do? And she's like, just try not to be fucking weird. And I'm like, okay.
I hate being the center of attention like that.
I don't, but that's weird. Like the gift thing is weird. I'd like rather be the center of attention in a different way.
Like on the dance floor, shaking your booty.
Yes, 100%. And so, or like, when you are up there for your wedding day, like that's so nice. But the gift, like, oh, thanks. I like dissociated. I don't even know what happened. But right before, I'm sitting there. Everybody's fucking staring at me. And my dad walks up. He's like, all right, I'm going to head out. And I'm like, what? And I'm like,
kind
right
of in
now?
the middle of
And I'm
something
like,
here.
do you not want to stay? Oh, I don't need to be here for that. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, I'm gonna go. And I'm like, you should. And then he just like walked off, and I'm just sitting there while all these people are staring at me, like trying not to cry, while my dad fucking leaves and didn't say bye. Like, after I said you should, he kind of stood there and like sauntered off. And so I didn't like, he didn't give me a hug. It wasn't really a goodbye. I didn't think he was actually leaving. That was the last time I saw him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So then I just like cried about that more and just continue to be disappointed. I don't know. I just can't do it anymore. I really did think like if I was in his town, in his space, he was going to show up for me more, and
Couldn't even do that.
no. It's really disappointing. It is.
I think it's going to be so healing for you watching Kurt be a dad and just to see the differences there and know that like you get to heal your inner child through raising a child with a fucking amazing man.
Yeah.
One who cares and wants to show up for his daughter.
I agree.
I'm sorry you had to experience that. It's fucked up.
Yeah, it sucks. And so I thought like, okay, I'm just going to send a text. Like, I'll give him one last opportunity. And I was just like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, I'm really disappointed. I came across the country so that I could like share this moment with you and like celebrate with you. And you didn't really give me the time of day, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, I just want to let you know that I'm not going to put any effort into you knowing my daughter. And if you want to, you can, but the ball's in your court. And he just said, okay.
What the fucking fuck?
No other real response. I haven't heard from him since. And I still want to keep reaching out and be like, do you want to explain yourself? Do you want to talk about this more? But I shouldn't have to do that. Like,
nope.
Why am I carrying all this guilt from him? He should feel guilty. And maybe he does. And maybe he just can't communicate it. And maybe I'm being hard on him. And I don't know how I'll feel when he's not around. And
your feelings are so valid. You don't need to question that.
So I talked to, my best friend Allison about it, and she's lost her father. And she's like, I just wish I would have accepted him for who he is, and instead of like putting up all of these walls and boundaries and stuff. And I think she's trying to like say all this to me so that I don't regret anything, but it's like our situations are so different. Like,
well, I think it is valuable to consider that and think about those things, like, and really ultimately you're not going to know how you're going to feel when that day comes. It's something personally I've done throughout my life. I haven't talked to my dad in 8 years now, like officially, and I have had to go through that grieving process and like realizing how I might feel. And it's just like, he literally hasn't been there for me though. And it's when it's convenient for him or when he needs something. And that's really my whole life. That's how it's been. And so, yeah, I do accept that he's giving me the love that he's able to give me, but I don't need to, hold that guilt. I don't need to hold that pain anymore. And that's why all these years I finally decided to adopt the man who has been a father to me over the last 20 years. And, I still love my dad. And yeah, I know I'll be upset when I do find out that he dies one day. But I think what was healing for me was to adopt my stepfather, Chris. And so, and your situation is going to be totally different, whatever that looks like for you. And you can change your mind at any point too. Like, you're not, you don't have to solidify and be like, this is how I'm going to be forever either. But you have to do what is going to make you feel safer and feel a little bit more peaceful in the situation. And it just really sucks to have to go through that.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, I'm leaving the door open. I didn't close it. Like, if my grandma comes in December to see the baby and he wants to come, he's welcome to come.
Yeah.
I said balls in your court. I didn't say fuck off, don't talk to me. You're an asshole. which I'm sure my mom wants me to say because she's like, I don't know why you and your sister keep giving him chances and being disappointed, and I don't know why I stayed so long. And
It's your own process. It's got to be what it is for you, and it's hard to not have expectations too of those things. And then when that comes and he doesn't show up for that, and then inevitably you still feel disappointment, even if you're just letting him figure it out and how to be a
I
dad
mean, there
too.
was a
But
point a couple years ago where I did send him this really long text about how I was feeling, and then he like sent one back and was just like, I'm really sorry that you feel that way. I didn't have a good dad either, and I just thought because you were this independent woman that you didn't really need me, and I was just like, I don't really need much from you, just like maybe every 3 or 4 months be like, hey, thinking about you.
Yeah.
That's it. What's
Well,
up? How you doing?
It's especially hard because you are going through like a very big transition in your
Mm-hmm.
life, and you were bringing another family member into the world for him to care about. And
Yeah,
he's
it's weird.
just, not given
And
the
he gave me
effort.
$100 gift card. I'm like, if you're gonna be an asshole, at least don't be a cheap asshole. Come on, give me a fucking break. Give me $1,000. I looked at that and was like, really? Fuck you. A gift card? Like how? Like how impersonal?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So basically, after that, I was like, I have to get the fuck. Oh no. So then I'm like, okay, I'll just go
Now you
back
have
to my
to.
grandma's after the
Yeah.
baby shower. Give this woman 2 fucking twisted teas and watch her go sideways about being homophobic and racist, and I just like
No,
all
no.
kinds of shit. And my friend Rachel's sitting
This is
there.
his mom.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
My friend Rachel's sitting there, clearly gay, like dresses very masculine presenting. Luckily, she's fucking oblivious. She didn't even know what's going on. She's just sitting there with Kurt. But it was like so nice of her to come and sit there with me. And my grandma was like talking about how she doesn't let my cousin watch this cartoon because there's 2 dads. And I'm like, it's a fucking cartoon, first of all. And then just some other shit. And then, oh my God. And then something at the end of the night, I was like, whoa, okay, we're not doing this anymore. I'm going to bed. And then in the morning, I'm like, I can't get out of this fucking town fast enough. And I was just like, I don't know what I expected out of these people. I don't know if I thought I would be stronger. I do think the good thing that came out of my trip was it really validated that what I'm doing out here is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and that I have a good life, and like how important the family I'm building is and what I'm doing. And I just feel really, really good and confident now that this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, and just like to be able to really see the growth that you yourself have experienced over the years of being out here and being away from toxic family cycles, that is healing. And I think it's important for everyone to kind of recognize, you know, that in themselves too. Like when we get away from our family and those cycles, like we are healing ourselves and we're helping to heal our family lineage as well. Like it's so powerful doing that and just going through the growth and following your dreams and living a life that you desire and deserve. Because I feel like I feel the same, like with my dad's side of the family, my father, like it's the same kind of cycles. Everyone stays exactly where they are. Everyone lives in that same fucked up town that there's nothing but dead ends and drugs.
Yep.
And it's just that fucked up bullshit, toxic shit talking cycle. It's like every time I get around them, I just feel so much anxiety because they're all just talking shit about each other and about how terrible everyone else's lives are instead of like talking about what they're going through or even asking how I am. And it's disgusting and it's challenging, but it is
Right.
a really good mirror to be like, oh, thank God I'm not like them, and I am doing better and being a better person in the world and contributing to change.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm a girly that loves some gossip, but like that's not it for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like I am, just proud of us and proud of me. And
Yes.
I think that maybe this will lead to some breakthroughs and like clear some blockages and just
Mhm.
give me a lot of clarity. And you can see on Facebook like all your family hanging out together and stuff. And you're like, oh, I wish I was like a part of that or doing that. And then you go
Mhm.
back and you're with them and you're like, holy shit.
Mhm.
My grandma is taking my entire family on a cruise in February. 35 people.
Whoa.
And I said I would go, but then they said babies can't come until 6 months. And after this trip, I'm like, my baby saved me. Yeah, so glad I'm not doing that. My
Yeah.
mom was like, well, I'll be here. I could babysit. I'm like, fuck no. Hell no.
No thanks.
This is my excuse. This baby is my excuse for everything for the next 18 years.
Totally.
So, I don't know. That's all that's going on with me. I'm 33 weeks pregnant now, which is crazy.
Home run.
We are in the home stretch. I wouldn't say home run yet.
You're on third base.
We're getting there. So, it's happening soon. How are you?
I'm doing good. I feel like I don't know, I feel like I should have wrote down like all the things because it's been a couple weeks since we've recorded, and I'm totally getting like back in a flow with work. It just feels really good. I've had this one client that found me online, and she booked with me 3 weeks in a row, which just feels so good. And she's like someone who had Reiki before and didn't really like feel anything or have a good experience necessarily, or like a great experience. um
It
and
didn't change your
yeah,
life
she was
or
like, yeah, I've done it before. So that was like validating and feels good to, I'm just like the most we can hope for is just a little shift and change. And, whatever you are meant to receive right now is what you're meant to receive. And it's also like she has struggles visualizing during meditations, which a lot of meditations are like guided visualizations. And so that is like kind of been a fun thing for me to try to learn and help her, and like try to find out, like, are you just not a visual person, because that totally exists,
totally.
or is it just around your spirituality and like your meditation practices? And it kind of sounds like it's mostly just around meditation practices, because she had expressed that she can like go into a house and be able to like totally imagine it renovated. And I feel like if you weren't a visual person, you wouldn't be able to do that. And she's a very creative person too. And I feel like creatives, you may not see the big picture completely, but you have to like have some sort of visual, I would imagine. Maybe I'm totally wrong, but to have creative practices. So it's kind of interesting to realize and talk with her and like really try to break down and figure out exactly what's going on, and help heal her third eye and help open it and like find out, get to the bottom of why she's closed off, because that's kind of what it feels like right now. So it's neat because we're like getting to work together regularly to work on that, and that's been really lovely. And she's a sweet lady and very open. And the last time I saw her this week, she came in, she's like, so I went online and I ordered these crystals and like I have all these things coming. She's really excited to really connect into her spirituality. And I'm just encouraging her to like follow anything that sparks interest or joy in her. So that's been really lovely, and just feels really good to like have someone to consistently work with too, and like see that progress, and know that if she's rescheduling with me, there is changes happening for her, which has got to feel good for her too. And that's the whole point. So that's really amazing. This last week I had my very first in-person event at Moonbees,
Woo, woo, woo,
our
woo, woo.
new moon ceremony, and oh my gosh, that just felt so good. Like we had, including me and Jubilee, who assisted in that ceremony. There were 10 of us in this space, like
Crazy.
made a circle.
Strangers.
Yeah, a lot of them were strangers, people who I've like very briefly chatted with either online or like they'd come into the store and bought something. And Mark had participated, my husband, and Jubilee's partner had participated too. So we had some masculine energy in here, and just like we had a whole moment of like sharing after our meditation that we walked them through, and just seeing the men like be vulnerable and share like what they're manifesting and working towards, and like really big things. It was just really beautiful to like hear them soften and share with the group so that we could all like pulse energy towards their dreams too. And oh my gosh, it was very energizing
I can't wait to
and
join.
magical. I know, I'm so excited. So excited. And I'm doing a full moon drumming journey at the end of the month here. And then in October, I'm doing the coolest event ever with my friend Julia McCarthy. So excited to have her here in the shop and her magic.
I really want to be here for that.
Yes, you have to. I feel like it's just going to be such a magical event. We'll be teaching people how to channel and connect with their loved ones on the other side, but just in like her magic and my magic, and it mixed together is just going to be such a yummy thing. So we were planning on having 13 people, like 13 spots, but after having the new moon thing, I might need to rethink that because it was pretty tight in here. So I'm going to be playing around this week to try to figure that out. And we may even do an online option. So keep a lookout if I announce that and you are interested in joining. What else happened this week? We had Third Friday, and Shannon, who was our last guest, and her husband Nathan both were here. Nathan was offering his transformational massages in the back room, so that was really nice because it's a room that Mark is going to move into and create magic in, his own little masculine magic. And so to like infuse that space with Nathan's energy felt so fucking good. He just has like a totally different way of massaging, and like that's super spiritual and effective. That was so cool having them here, and just to be able to like sit and enjoy Shannon and get to know her more, and to share her energy. And we talked a lot about Shasta and like all the lore and beautiful things. We really need to like just go take a day in Shasta together, and then record something fun. We should do one of those guided tours. She was talking about how she went on one of those, and it was absolutely phenomenal.
Fun.
I think she said it was like $80, but you went to like 3 different locations, and there's like meditation involved, and
everybody on the houseboat was really thinking they saw Sasquatch.
Yes, I believe it.
I mean, I didn't see anything.
I totally believe it.
Matt and Debbie were like, "Did you hear that?"
Yes, that's so cool. Yeah, that was fun. What else? I feel like there's something else.
You've done so much.
Yeah. I spent like a whole day last week cleaning out my room. So the room that I used to do my sessions in at our house, it just kind of has become like, I don't know, the energy wasn't good. Mark put some beds in there, and I'm like, nah, this place makes me feel crazy. And I really have been wanting a place that's mine at the house where I can just like go into and do whatever I want when I'm home, like journal and pull cards.
Is it the room upstairs?
Yeah, above our living room. And then also I just like, I've been reading, is it Big Magic?
Mm-hmm.
I've been reading Big Magic, and it's all about like creativity and leaning into that. And I have been such a creative person my entire life, and it's been so long, I feel, since I've like sat down and created something. And so I really wanted a place in my home where like I could just go escape to and make a mess and leave it there if I wanted to. And like, it's been so long since I've gone through my craft supplies. I've gotten rid of so many things. I didn't even remember anything that I actually had. So I like took everything out of the closet up there and rearranged everything. And then went through all of my craft supplies. I got my sewing machine up there that's lived in the garage for the past 2+ years. And I'm just excited to like really dive in and start making things again and working with creative energy. And
You've been creating a lot of things.
I
They're
have,
just not
yeah,
like art and
totally,
tangible. You're
totally.
like creating so much all the time.
You're right.
I met with my doula yesterday and it was so good, and we went over like each stage of birth, like what pre-labor, like what's it called? I don't fucking know. What it feels like when you're about to go into labor, and then what happens during labor, and then what happens right after. And
Amazing.
she brought me a freezer meal, which was
Oh,
so nice. She's so great.
I'm so excited. We're interviewing her next week.
And if you're local, I highly, highly, highly recommend Kelsey McEwen. She's Wild Moon Doula. Amazing.
I'm so excited to chat with her and meet her, and
You'll love her.
the day that I become with child
Soon.
that'll be nice.
You can use all my peeps.
That'll be
And
so
you'll
amazing.
get like, you're going to be there so you can see what you like and what you would want to do different.
Can't wait.
And then I got to get my shit together so I can try to support you in the way that you support me during my birth, because I want you to do like Reiki for pain management and then drumming to get me into like a hypnotic state. And we'll like call in my guides and
the goddess, we can't forget
everything. And everybody, the other three are going to micromanage each other. My mom's going to watch Kurt in case he passes out. Allison's going to control my mom in case she gets weird and nursey.
Wonderful.
And then you can focus on me.
I love it.
And the doula will help guide Curtis and like tell him what to do.
It's going to be magical.
Great.
I'm so excited. What was the thing I was going to say? I don't remember. Okay. Oh, well, not important then. Yeah, everything's been good though. I'm very happy to be back in just like a place where we both are here doing our thing again.
Yeah, September was crazy busy, but October feels more like just chill and lean into it and prep for this next step.
Totally.
Maybe you'll get pregnant.
That's what the pendulum said.
I would love to be right. I love being right.
I would love for you to be right too.
Ow, my belly button.
My friend Amy, who was here visiting, she messaged me a couple weeks ago asking if I was taking prenatals. And I was like, I did when I first was trying to get pregnant, and I haven't, but I've been thinking about how I need to be doing that again. And she's like, do it. You're going to need it. It's happening soon. Now's the time. I was like, that's pretty crazy. And it was, and then I shared with her how your whole predictions of the pendulum have come true so far, and how it says that I will get pregnant in September and find out in October. So stay tuned. We'll see.
Are you done bleeding?
Yeah, I just finished bleeding.
Have you been sexing every day?
I just finished. So I'm gonna sex. We sex every day usually. We're pretty sexy.
I mean, I still had like remnants of blood when I got pregnant.
I had a full bleed, big time.
Like I was like, we argued. I'm like, I can't get pregnant right now. He's like, yes, you can. I'm like, no, I can't. And then I lost that argument. Here I am 8 months later on the other side of that argument. So sometimes you ovulate when you don't fucking know.
That's true. Yeah, we're pretty good at the sex.
Good.
We do a lot of that. And we're going to be going to Shannon and Nathan's retreat first weekend of October. I'm so fucking excited about that. Like, it's coming up so soon, and I'm excited to like build that beautiful love language between us. And like, we're about to hit 10 years together in November. So I think it'll be really nice because, like, even all these years later, like, we're still finding stuff out about each other and
Well, especially
growing.
yeah, you're both changing all the
Yeah.
time.
And like, he very much wants me to be in pleasure and feel good, like, so. And it seems like that's going to be not the whole thing, but it's going to be a lot about just helping your partner understand how you receive better, and helping me probably to express that, which is something I definitely need help with too. So I'm just
I love
creating
that
sacred
he's
relations.
so open to all the things all the
I'm
time.
so grateful. I'm so grateful for that. I feel really lucky for so many reasons. He's a really good partner,
Yep.
you know. But he is just so good to me and loves me so much, and I love him so much, and I'm just excited to like grow closer and like learn each other more
Beautiful.
in the sexy, beautiful, love-making ways. It's gonna be great. Oh, 5 right now.
Okay. We are gonna wrap this up and send it out for you guys, and we have a little present for our Waking Up the Witch anniversary.
Oh, that just gave me so many chills. That's coming up so soon.
Crazy. Did you think we would stick with it?
Yeah, I totally did.
I didn't know what it would be.
No.
It's not what I expected it to be.
No, I kind of think I knew that it would change.
Yeah.
I knew that it would change, and I honestly thought that you were gonna not want it to change at first, like from what we were originally setting out to be. And then when it just happened and you're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. And I'm like, I knew it was gonna be something better than what we could have even imagined.
I love what it's become.
I do too. I love it so much, and it feels good. And who knows what it's going to continue to evolve. It's its own entity for sure. I'm excited. I knew I would stick with it because I can stop working on things pretty easily. Like, I'll be like, ooh, I'm so into that, and then drop it. But I knew that if I had a partner to keep going.
Yep.
And once we had our first interview with Celeste, I was like, wow, that was really cool. I want to keep doing that. Are we going to run out of people to talk to?
Never.
So it's pretty cool. I'm excited.
We got some exciting guests coming up, and then
yeah,
we'll take a little break for season 3. I'll have a baby, and then we'll see what life's like after that and what we're being called to on the podcast. And we have all kinds of exciting stuff coming up. We got some video content coming out. We're going to start our Patreon soon, which is going to be a really nice place for you to show us some support, even if it's $1 or $2, just making it possible for us to continue to put energy into this. It is not free for us to do this, and so
costs us quite a
we're
bit
not
of money.
making money yet. So
we're just circulating that money, though. That money's coming back to us.
Well, you're gonna give it to us.
Yep.
Give us some money. And we're gonna figure out sponsors. I've applied to a couple production companies maybe to get picked up. We'll see if that is something that aligns, and we just have big plans for season 3.
Yeah, it's gonna be magical. Bye.
Bye. Find us on TikTok and Instagram at Waking Up the Witch.
Please email us your witchy stories, ghost stories, corrections, and advice questions to wakingupthewitch@gmail.com.
Love you.
Love you.